Hi, this is Jeremy Clark, Executive Director of Grace Ministries International, and we have two missionary couples with us today who met for the first time online right before this interview. Joseph and Emanuela Asongs are in Malawi, Lilongwe, Malawi to be exact, and Carlos and Denise Brunks are on the island of Bonaire. And Carlos and Denise, let's start out. Tell us where Bonaire is. I think a lot of people probably have no idea where the island of Bonaire is. So tell us that first.
Yeah, Bonaire is a little island,
Very
Dutch
little.
island just off the coast of Venezuela. It's about, with planes, about half an hour. So it's a Dutch colony, and yes, so we're here. Well, the population is 20,000 people, and so that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's a little tiny little island, but it's very nice.
And you were just sharing with me a little bit ago that you just had your first two confirmed cases of COVID-19, correct?
Correct. Yeah, last week, the mayor of the island said it on the news that we have two cases which were tested positive for COVID-19, and this is just the first two. After a month or so, we didn't have nothing.
Yes.
So we thank God.
Yes, yeah, that is positive. And Joseph and Manuela, even though you're living in Lilongwe, Malawi, which is the capital city in Malawi, I know you guys travel around quite a bit. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about why you travel so much around Malawi, and maybe a little bit about the purpose of your last trip and where you went and what you did.
Well, the nature of our ministry here in Malawi requires that we travel. We are involved in leadership training and theological education. And also, Emanuela spearheads a training for business and for nutritional studies. So because we're reaching people all over Malawi, we have to go to them because it's easier for us to go to them rather than for them to come to us in Lilongwe. And so that's why we were in Luchenza about 2 weeks ago. We were there for 9 days. And so I and some Malawian pastors, two pastors to be precise, Pastor Yamikani and Pastor Courtesy, we taught a module of Bible school in Chichewa. And Emanuela went with two of her students who graduated from the training here in Lilongwe. And together they taught about 23 women.
23 to 25.
Yeah, 23 to 25 women. They taught them quite a number of things: nutrition, business, and they actually taught them about COVID-19 prevention.
Emanuela, I know that a passion of yours has been to, and it is with Joseph too, but it's to disciple women, in your case anyway, and to be able to train them so they can lead some of these classes and trainings and seminars that you do. Can you tell us maybe a little bit about that process of equipping women to teach?
Actually, yes, that's been my passion. So we traveled with these two women that Joseph have mentioned, Alefa and Sela. So we went there. I was just doing more of a supervisory role. I just saw them, they did a lot of good work. Myself, I was so impressed to see that what we have been doing, they have been like, taking so much of attention. They have been able to express what they have learned. So that gives me a lot of joy to know that we are not really wasting time. We are impacting these people as the Lord is helping us, and they are able to do the work the way they can do it, even in our absence. So the women, they taught, I was just there watching as we were doing it, observing them. And they taught so well. They taught about home management, they taught about nutrition, also some recipes and some business techniques. So actually, I think the Lord is fulfilling our passion.
That's fantastic, Emanuela. Joseph, you also have been discipling some men or training some men to teach, and you love theological education. That's your passion, Joseph. But you're not selfish about that. You're really trying to equip some Malawians to do that ministry, to teach these Bible modules. And maybe you can share about a couple of these men that you've been training and working with, and some of the progress that you've been able to make.
Yes, right now we have isolated 5 of our pastors here in Malawi. Pastor James Bada, Pastor Yamikani Lefan, Pastor Katesi Kaline, who is actually the chair person for the Grace Churches in Malawi, Pastor Feka Spiri, and Pastor Davis Balala. So these 5 men, we are sort of like, okay, we're training everybody, but these 5 men, we are giving them special attention because they are the ones for now that we have seen that the Lord is giving them the ability to teach others. And so we go with these men when we make trips outside of Lilongwe, we give them the opportunity to teach, and then we observe them and give them feedback. They also teach here in Lilongwe as well, mostly the Chichewa classes. So it's really been exciting to see these men from when we came in 2013, right, and see where the Lord has brought them from that time up to now. We continue to teach with them, but in a short while, there will be a time when we would be able to just send them on these trips, even without going with them. And we will be absolutely sure that they will get the job done. And for a missionary, I don't think of any other joy that surpasses that you've been able to impact people to the point where they can do the job that you do, and you're 100% sure that they'll do it perfectly well, even in your absence.
Yeah, that's success as a missionary, and that's what we want to see. All of our missionaries investing in others and turning them loose and letting them do the ministry. Carlos and Denise, you mentioned a little bit ago that you've only had 2 cases of COVID-19 recently confirmed, but the reality is in Bonaire, the island has been somewhat locked down for a few weeks now, but you are uniquely positioned with your radio ministry to continue reaching the island of Bonaire and even beyond. Can you tell us how your radio ministry has had an impact while the people in Bonaire, the schools have been closed, while the people have been working at home? How has your radio ministry been able to impact the island?
Yeah, well, we're thankful that from Monday to Friday, from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., me and Denise then we can share the word and teach people how Christ makes a difference or can make a difference in your life when you're going through such a phase, because right now there's a lot of stress in the homes, and the children are at home because there's no school. Schools are not open right now, and Denise is a school teacher, and they send the lessons at home, and the parents have to teach the kids at home via the internet, and then a lot of parents are at home also. They can't work, so most of them are working at home. So when it comes to administration, so we thank God that we have the opportunity to bring the word in the morning, and then encourage people and teach people how you can go around with stress, with the Christian principles, and the importance of prayer, and how to communicate with each other in these difficult times, and the difference that God makes. And so because some people have lost their jobs, right? And so because, for instance, the hotel here, a lot of people have lost their jobs.
Yeah, lots of people working in tourism.
And tourism is the main income of the island, is tourism, for instance. So then we present the gospel in that sense that Christ, there's hope, and then so we entrust your life to Christ, and He can make a difference and bring, and so that's so now it's a good opportunity for the church to as via the internet and via as I'm talking about the internet also because our radio ministry is connected not only with FM radio on the island, but also via the internet, we're connected with Aruba, Curacao, and the Netherlands. And even people can hear us in Colombia, because there are people in Colombia, even in Colombia listen to us, and in Suriname. Okay, so the ministry is reaching several places.
Now, your local church there in Bonaire, you have two services now. You have a Papiamento speaking service and also a Dutch service. And tell us maybe a little bit more about how you're able to connect or keep connected with your church family, not only there in Bonaire, but tell us about the impact it's making on in the other places you mentioned, even on other continents.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the good part of it is that because of the Facebook live streaming, you can
Our services.
You went.
No. Okay, we keep our services through the Facebook live streaming, and then through that you get connected also with other people. You get connected with the church people, but the church people also has friends, so they also see the services. So yeah, that's a way also how we try to reach out and also bring the gospel of grace to people. We're very thankful for that. And the Dutch, the same thing with the Dutch service. The Dutch service, we have a brother Adrian. He's a Dutchman, and he's been coming to our church, and Carlos has been training him, and now he's bringing the word in on through the live streaming with the Dutch part. So yeah, that's also something we thank God for.
Yeah. So people from the Netherlands can follow in Dutch. Which they do. And they have also people who are who on the island or Dutch who listen. They can listen in and follow in the Dutch language. Okay, and the service is completely in Dutch. Then of course Denise sings in Dutch songs, right? And the brother preaches in Dutch. And then that's in the morning. Let's say we do it 11 to 11 to 12, 1 hour service.
Yeah.
And then we do the Papiamento service, which is the language from the island. Bonaire speak Papiamento, Aruba, Curacao speak Papiamento. So I preach in Papiamento, and the songs are in Papiamento also. It's 1 hour service, and then we live stream it. So that's pretty much it. And so we thank God for the opportunity that we can connect. So people can also look at the service afterwards, which they do. And then people are going through the hard times, and then you say, hey, you know what? Oh, I listened to your service, and I was encouraged, So people we got good response from that.
Yes, and when we go back to the radio, also through the radio, certain messages we can share, and then we share also with somebody that has a difficult situation right now in the family. And then we share, and then they say, it's a blessing for them. So yeah, this COVID has brought us to go more into the technical parts, the computer parts, which we're not so good in, but it has its advantages that you can reach more people. These means.
And more people right now are looking online for for church services, for encouragement. And so, though I don't understand having just an hour long Papiamento service, I don't know too many Caribbean church services that only last 1 hour. You must be paying a lot for data.
Live streaming is free.
Yeah, okay.
Thank God.
There you go. So, let's talk a little bit about Malawi. Right now in Malawi, there aren't the restrictions yet that other countries have grown accustomed to in the previous weeks. But so, what is the situation right now in Malawi in terms of government mandated restrictions on meetings and travel, and what do you foresee coming in the future?
Well, it's interesting how things are evolving here. First of all, we had what the government called national disaster, and with that, they put certain measures in place. I would say limited to a certain extent. Schools were closed. Things like social distancing were enforced. They also said churches or any other groups can only meet with at most 100 people. Then down the line, this also affected public transportation because they said social distancing has to also be applied with transportation, public transportation. The public transporters were supposed to carry just about half of the people they usually carry. And then for the private vehicles, you can only carry as many people as would sit close to the windows.
Okay.
And so, so that's what they put in place. Then, just this week, they came in and put in place, actually it was last week, they put in place a shutdown, a stay-at-home order, which was in the measures. But there was a human rights organization that said the lockdown will be very detrimental to the poor people, which is the majority of Malawi. And so they took the government to court, and the court said, yeah, that's right. Government hasn't put in place measures that would help push the hardships that the lockdown would create. And so right now, the lockdown has been suspended and we're still operating under the national disaster order. And so the issue is in court. The government is making its case, and we are expecting a final resolution tomorrow, Friday. So there is no way of knowing how this is going to go down. Yeah. But we have there are two possibilities. It's either the court say, okay, the government has satisfied us that they've put in place good measures to help the poor, and so the lockdown can go into effect, or the courts could say the government has not satisfied us, maybe they should have more time, or maybe they would just suspend the lockdown. So we, as a matter of fact, everybody's waiting to hear what the verdict will be tomorrow.
No, it's hard to imagine a lockdown in Africa when people are just trying to earn enough for that day to feed their family for that day.
Exactly.
And you mentioned that public transportation, buses can only carry half the number of people they normally carry. I've seen a Malawi bus and they're pretty full. I guess if there's only half the number, the bus is still going to be full. So real quickly, Joseph and Manuela, what are the plans then for the ministry there if there is a full lockdown? How do you plan on continuing with ministry if you're not able to leave your homes, for example?
Like for the ministry I'm handling for now, actually it's really a sad thing because the women came yesterday because we go on every Wednesday of the week. So the women were there yesterday waiting for me to come, but I couldn't go because of the measures that the government have put into place. And they insisted that there are just 50 of them, so I can come work with them. So I said, no, it's just good for us to wait for the government and hear what the government will say because it's not healthy. So what I'm doing as of now is like, I'm trying to work with some people who graduated last year. You know, my focus now is to train people who are able to take those classes when I'm not around, even when I'm there, to see them do the work themselves. So I'm trying to put together the notes and send in for translation for them to be working on that, especially the business notes, then some of the cooking recipes notes, and see if we can work from home. Sure. And help train them during this period of, you know, supposed lockdown. And when everything will get back to normal and they'll start taking those classes 1 year in a long way. So that's what I'm trying to do as of now.
Yeah. And on top of that, Emanuela is also coordinating because the students who graduated last year, they were put on giving some grants to do business, and we basically divided them up into 8 groups of 5 each. There's one that is, there are 4 in the group. And so Emanuela is still coordinating them through the phone and making sure, because some of them are still able to go to the market and do their business. So she coordinates using the phone and making sure they are doing well, and if they need counsel, they are able to reach out to her. In the area of theological education and leadership training, when the lockdown was announced, we immediately complied and suspended all of our classes, both in the long way, and then we also canceled the trips that we had planned outside of the long way. Now, if the verdict comes out tomorrow and they say lockdown is going to remain in force, there is still a lot of work that we will be doing in the area of leadership training and theological education. Now, one of the things I do besides teaching classes is actually preparing the classes, like preparing the notes and the books, because we don't have good libraries here for theological books. And so one of the investments we make for our students is that we prepare very good books that can form a library for them. So right now I'm engaged in preparing a course in Romans that will be for our level 3 students. And also I'm engaged in preparing a course in English 3, which is basically helping our students how to write better essays and better papers and things like that. So that is part of what I'm going to be doing. But also there is the other part of coordinating, like just talking with the other missionaries on the field and the Malawian leaders that we're working with as to how the future will look like and planning ahead and things like that. We have a WhatsApp group forum that we use all the time. And so we will be able to continue to engage on the WhatsApp forum and planning ahead of time.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have a handle on worst case scenarios and what you're going to be able to do in terms of ministry if there is a lockdown. And I had no doubt in my mind you guys would be able to keep really busy, and it's good to hear that. Carlos and Denise, now I just want you to briefly tell me, as you think about this, as you think about this whole crisis passing, what do you guys see are a couple of opportunities that you can take advantage of as missionaries to be able to reach more with the gospel after this crisis passes?
Yeah, okay. We're planning to move into our new location right after this is over, and it's a community place where we have a lot of people living. About 800 people live there, and we know that one thing that because of the situation, there's a lot of social issues going on in the homes now and stuff. And what we're planning that prepare ourselves that when we going to go start in a location there, we're going to go house to house and connect with people and see what are the needs, how we as a church can be of help to them and stuff. And in that, we're thinking that the door can easily more be open for them to hear the gospel. And you know, sometimes maybe maybe they just want you to pray with them. It's okay, right? So we're preparing ourselves to go house to house in the community, and then like that, share the gospel and then connect them with the church, and let them know that we're not only there to share the gospel, but also to meet them in the needs and where you can help them. Let's put it this way: when it comes to maybe it's you need some food or whatever. Maybe it's a family. If the church can help them, that they will help them also. One thing we know that the government has a good social plan for people who are in need, but where they come, where it doesn't reach, the church will be there to help them also. So we just helped a family last week, also who was going through hard times, and we helped them also with food and stuff.
No, I'm sure there'll be lots of opportunities for you guys to pick up the pieces once this is over, especially in Bonaire, where so much of the economy is dependent upon tourism. And I know you guys have always been looking for those opportunities. And Carlos, you and I recently took a trip to Aruba to do some survey work there. And we look forward to seeing what the Lord might open up in other places, even neighboring islands as well. Joseph and Emanuela, as we kind of conclude here, I'd like to know, or maybe you can share with everyone who's watching, what are some prayer requests that you have? How can we pray for you? How can we pray for you?
Yeah, as concerned the global crisis, I really want us to keep praying that the Lord, in the midst of this crisis, is going to show us the way and lead us. And it kind of brings too much of tension because there's a lot of uncertainty. You don't know when things are going to bounce back to be normal. And yeah, we have people that we have to serve through ministry. So, and they have all this expectancy waiting for things to come back to normal. So we are praying that the Lord should, bring a rest to the situation for life to go back normal. So that's really the prayer request that is on my heart. Yeah.
Yeah, and also we did have some really big plans for this year. The Lord knows the details. For those who want to pray with us, please do just pray that, we had committed all of those plans into the hands of the Lord. It does appear that with the coming of COVID-19, some of it may be affected, some of those things that we planned may not happen. We don't know for sure yet, but our prayer request really is that we would have peace, irrespective of how things turn out, especially in regards to some of the big plans that we had for this year. But also, please continue to pray with and for us here and the ministries that we're involved in here. Our GMI missionary team here, we all have different things that we're doing in the ministry here and facing different challenges, even with the COVID-19, how to adapt and how to move forward, just so that the Lord will give all of us wisdom to continue to minister in the ways that He would make possible. But finally, for Malawi, of course, the whole world is on our hearts, but we're here in Malawi and we know how COVID-19 is already playing a negative, impact in the lives of people. But that people would just lift up Malawians and Malawi and just pray that, somehow we can't say the pain will go away. The pain is already there, the challenges are already there, but that the Lord will help the people of Malawi to navigate these challenges in a way that will not break them.
Thanks, Joseph and Manuela. Carlos and Nice, briefly, what are some ways that we can pray for you?
Okay, you could pray for us for after the COVID, that we could our outreach to the new neighborhood we're gonna go into. The outreach, we're gonna planning also to reach out to the kids programs. Yes, you can pray for that also, and you can pray for now during this COVID that the brothers and sisters of the church that they don't get discouraged because because they're the young Christians, and we communicate with them through the WhatsApp. You call them, but not coming together. That it would affect them, that they might stay strong in the Lord and faithful to the Lord and not be discouraged by this.
Yeah.
Yes, and that everybody, all the missionaries, everybody, they stay safe, healthy, so we can continue to serve the Lord.
Yes, and also Jeremy and the team over there.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Hey, Carlos, Denise, Joseph, Emanuela, thank you so much for spending some time with me today and just sharing your hearts and your ministries. You guys are both exceptional couples. You both have a heart. All of you have a heart to train and invest in others and to selflessly serve. You guys are an inspiration to us and an encouragement to us. And thank you so much for what you're doing.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity, Brother Jeremy, and a heartfelt thanks to the Home Office for all you're doing to keep things moving, even during this lockdown, basically, in the US.
We're glad to serve you guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.